You are born a mortal man somewhere in Middle-earth in the Second Age, and a stranger is standing at your door with a gift. His name is Annatar, and he calls himself the Lord of Gifts. He lays a ring on the table in front of you, a band of plain metal with no stone, no marking, and no weight to it when you pick it up. He tells you it will make you powerful beyond any king in your lands, that it will fill your treasury and stretch your years further than any man has lived. So you put it on. That's your first mistake, but you don't know it yet. Within a year, your armies double. Within 5, your borders push outward, and the kings around you bend their heads when you ride past. The ring lets you turn invisible when you choose, stepping out of a room and watching your advisors talk freely. And it lets you see shapes moving at the edge of the world that no one else can see. Gray figures passing through walls. Shadows that walk. At first, you reach for your sword when you see them. Then, after a while, you stop reacting because they never come closer, and the ring keeps giving you everything you want. But decades pass, and something starts to change. You look at your hands one morning, and they look thinner than they should. You eat well and sleep long, but your face in the water gets paler each season. Your servants stop looking directly at you, and when they do look, their eyes move away fast. You start wearing heavier robes, thicker cloaks, more layers, because something about the way you look is starting to make the people around you take a step back. The ring is still on your finger. It won't come off. Skip forward a few decades, and the ring is still on your finger. Your kingdom is bigger than it has ever been. Your treasury full, your armies unbeaten, and none of it helps with what is happening to your body. You hold your hand out in front of you one morning, and you can see the floor through it. Your fingers still there, but going transparent at the edges. The ring the only solid thing left on your hand. You need your subjects to keep following you, so you start wearing gloves all the time, then heavier robes over those, then a hood pulled forward far enough to keep your face in shadow. It works for a while. But then, one of your generals walks into your war room without knocking, and when you turn toward him with your hood back, he stops in the doorway with his legs going stiff and his hand gripping the frame. He isn't looking at your face. He is looking at the space where your face should be. So you pull the hood forward and tell him to come in, and he does, but he keeps his eyes on the table for the rest of the meeting. That's when you understand that the robes aren't for warmth anymore. They are the only reason anyone can see you at all. Without them, you are just a shape in the air, a set of floating armor with nothing inside it. The ring has been pulling your body out of the world, one layer at a time, so slowly that you didn't notice until it was almost done. You try to pull the ring off that evening, gripping it with your other hand and pulling hard. But your fingers pass straight through it, and it stays exactly where it is. Somewhere far to the east, Sauron is already waiting for you. Around the year 2251 of the Second Age, the last of your body goes. There is no big moment, no final step. One morning, you reach up to pull your hood forward, and your hands pass straight through the fabric, so you understand that the fabric is what people see now, not you. You are the thing inside the robes. The world you have known your entire life, the colors of stone walls, the faces of your soldiers, the green of the hills outside your window. All of it turns gray and flat, like watching everything through a layer of dirty cloth. Living people are the strangest part. They move around you as shadows, gray outlines with no features, and the only things you can track clearly are the veins running through their hands and necks, because the blood moving through them pulls at your attention the way a torch pulls at your eyes. Then the pull toward Mordor starts. You don't choose to go. Your legs just start carrying you east, with your robes dragging behind you, and the further east you move, the stronger the pull gets, so you stop trying to resist it and let it take you the rest of the way to Barad-dûr. The other 8 are already there when you arrive. You can see them clearly. The only solid things left in a gray world. 8 tall shapes in black robes standing in a line. That's when it becomes real. This is what you are now. This is all 9 of you, and you are the same as every one of them. Sauron's will comes through the ring like a hand closing around your chest. Your knees go down. The last thought that belongs only to you goes quiet. And then there is just his voice, filling the space where you used to be. You are his now. You are the Nazgûl. Centuries pass, and the wars blur together. Sauron falls at the end of the Second Age, broken by Elendil and Gil-galad on the slopes of Mount Doom after a 7-year siege of Barad-dûr. And the moment the One Ring is cut from his hand by Isildur, you feel it. The pull that has been running through you like a cord goes slack, so your legs stop carrying you, and you drop to the ground with the other 8, all 9 of you going down at the same moment. You wander after that. No master, no direction, just 9 shapes in black robes moving east with nowhere to go, waiting for something that takes over 1,000 years to come back. But it does come back. Sauron's will finds you again in the Third Age, pulling you out of the east and sending you north, and the 9 of you get to work. In the year 2000, Sauron needs a stronghold on the western edge of Mordor, a base close enough to Gondor to threaten it, so he sends all 9 of you to take it. The city is called Minas Ithil, built by the men of Gondor on the border of the mountains, and all 9 of you besiege its walls for 2 full years before the gates come down and the defenders run. You walk through the city after it falls with your robes dragging across the stone, and the orcs behind you move into every building and every street. The men of Gondor had called it the Tower of the Moon. Now it belongs to you. Sauron renames it Minas Morgul, and the valley below it fills with his armies. And that is where you will stay for the next 1,000 years, waiting in a dead city that gives off a pale green light from its towers, watching the road that leads toward Gondor. The One Ring is still out there somewhere, and sooner or later, someone is going to find it. In the year 3018 of the Third Age, Sauron finally has a name. 2 words pulled from a creature called Gollum after years of searching: Shire and Baggins. That is all Sauron needs, so he sends all 9 of you west to find it. The horses you ride are bred in Mordor specifically to carry you, trained from birth to hold still when everything in them wants to run. And even then, they keep their heads low and their legs tight as you climb onto their backs. You ride out of Minas Morgul with the other 8, spreading across the land in a line, moving through the Shire, and stopping at every door with the same question, with your robes hanging still and the horses pressing themselves flat against the ground. It takes weeks, but the trail leads you to Weathertop, a ruined hill in the open lands west of Rivendell, and 5 of you pick up the pull of the One Ring close by, so you move toward the camp at the base of the hill with your swords already drawn. There are 4 small figures and 1 tall one, and the ring bearer puts the One Ring on his finger and steps into your world, and that is a mistake on his part. In your world, you can see him clearly, a solid shape where everything else is gray shadow, and the ring on his hand pulls at you like a rope. The Witch King steps forward and drives a Morgul knife into the hobbit's shoulder before Aragorn drives you all back with fire. But the knife breaks off inside the wound, and a shard of it starts moving toward the hobbit's heart. He will turn. It is only a matter of time. The ring bearer doesn't turn. Someone gets the shard out in time. So the 9 of you regroup and push the chase west toward Rivendell, with your horses cutting across the open land and closing the gap on the hobbit, and the elf carrying him. You need to cut them off before they reach the ford of Brunnen. So all 9 of you ride hard toward the crossing, with your robes flat against the horses' backs. The hobbit reaches the far bank first and turns to face you from across the water, and the ring on his finger pulls at all 9 of you so strongly that you ride straight into the river without stopping, with your horses pushing through the current and the crossing almost done. Then the river rises. A wall of water comes down the ford from upstream, hitting the horses hard and pulling them under with their legs, kicking against a current too strong to fight. The horses go down, taking your robes and your visible shape with them, so all 9 of you are dragged out of the river on foot with nothing left to ride and no way forward. That's the first time in centuries that something has actually stopped you, and Sauron pulls you back to Mordor to regroup. But Sauron doesn't leave you on foot for long. He brings you something new. Creatures that have no name yet in Middle-earth. Enormous winged things with long necks and clawed feet that grip the ground when they land with their whole bodies dropping forward. These are your fell beasts, and nothing alive has ever ridden one before. You climb onto the back of yours and it pushes off the ground with its wings spreading wide on either side, lifting the 2 of you straight up until the whole of Mordor is below you. On horseback, you could be outrun. Up here, nothing can hide from you. It's the year 3019, and Sauron sends a darkness across the sky above Mordor to strengthen all 9 of you, then gives the order to march. The Witch King rides out of Minas Morgul at the front of the host with the 8 of you behind him, and the army of orcs and men of Harad follows after that, spreading across the road toward Gondor. Your job right now is not to fight on the ground. Your job is to break the men of Gondor before a single sword is swung. So you and the other 7 circle above Minas Tirith on your fell beasts, with your wings spreading wide on either side and your robes pulling behind you. The effect is immediate. Down on the walls, the soldiers of Gondor stop moving, with their weapons dropping out of their hands and their bodies pressing flat against the stone as you pass over them. This is the Black Breath, the terror that lives in your presence and pushes outward into everything below you, making men's legs stop working and their arms go still. You don't need to land to win this part of the battle. Then, the great battering ram Grond rolls up to the gates of Minas Tirith below you, carved with spells that make the wood and iron groan before it even hits. And the Witch King brings it forward with the whole host pushing behind it until the gates of the city come apart and the way in opens. That's the moment you have waited for. But then, from the north, the horns start. You wheel your fell beast around to face the sound, with its wings pulling hard to turn your full weight, and you see the riders of Rohan coming across the Pelennor fields in a line that goes from one edge of your vision to the other. These men weren't supposed to be here, and one of them isn't a man at all. The Witch King goes down on the Pelennor fields, and you feel it the moment it happens. The connection between the 9 of you has held together for over 3,000 years, and when it breaks, you can see the other 7 on their fell beasts all react at the same moment, with their bodies pulling straight and their heads turning toward the spot on the battlefield where the Witch King was. Then, Sauron's will fills the gap immediately, pulling all 8 of you away from Minas Tirith and pointing you east toward Mount Doom, because something is happening at the mountain that Sauron has only just understood. The ring-bearer is inside, and the One Ring is about to be destroyed. You need to get there and stop it. So all 8 of you push your fell beasts hard toward Orodruin, with your wings driving down as fast as they will go, with the mountain already sending rock and fire up into the sky above it. But you are too late. You are still in the air above the plains of Gorgoroth when the ring goes into the fire, and the moment it does, the cord that has run through you since the Second Age simply stops. That's the only way to describe it. One moment Sauron's will is there, holding all 8 of you together, and then it is gone. So completely and so suddenly that your fell beast goes limp beneath you, with its wings folding flat against its body, and the 2 of you drop together toward the ground with nothing left to hold you up. You had a name once, and a kingdom, and a ring that a stranger put on your table and told you would make you powerful. He was right about that part, at least. You were powerful for 3,000 years. And then the fire of Orodruin comes up to meet you, and that's it. That's all there is.